What's a word that gets thrown around too much? A bit lighter than some of the other answers here. But albums get called classic too easily and quickly sometimes. OCD. Okay, not a word. An initialism. So many people use this to describe minor habits, completely misunderstanding how unbelievably debilitating the disorder is. It's just everywhere and I, for one, have had enough. Gaslighting. It is a very specific and methodical form of abuse that convinces a person that they are crazy and that their perception of reality is false. It is not just lying to a person or having a different side of the story. Bipolar. Everyone have ups and downs. Doesn't mean you are bipolar. Triggered. Literally. Inconceivable. I don't think it means what you think it means. Toxic. Gaslighting. Sometimes someone is just lying. Not every lie is some epic conspiracy to make you think you're crazy. Abuse. It's fucking sad. 2. People, mostly chronically online teenagers on our vent, assume that abuse is practically whenever their parents take their phone up for a day or whenever they have a minor disagreement. It's ridiculous. Research. It doesn't mean Googling a topic and reading random results. Triggered. Trauma. PTSD. Narcissist. OCD. Liking things to line up neatly. Having a specific way you fold your towels. Or whatever else doesn't mean you have obsessive-compulsive disorder. Saying you're OCD about whatever trivializes a real disorder that majorly impacts some people's lives. I will absolutely admit that. In my youth and ignorance, I misused this term. I hate hearing it thrown around now though. Technically 2 words but, red flag. Oh, he doesn't buy you flowers once a week? Red flag. She likes to have alone time away from you? Red flag. Way overused and people simply attribute something they don't like to being a red flag. Cultural appropriation. They be like, you are eating pasta and you're not from Italy? That's cultural appropriation. Like BTCHWTF haha. Also 99% of the time it's always someone who's not from that culture. I read somewhere that the word like was the most used word ever. Cringe. Epic. This. Trauma. People have started to call minor inconveniences traumatic. Mainly younger people. Being grounded for a week isn't a traumatic event. Having your phone taken away isn't a traumatic event. Being made to do chores isn't a traumatic event. Traumatic events are life-changing and intense. Not benign and petty. Obsessed. When someone enjoys something. OMG, I'm obsessed. Hurrenson. I used to live with a guy who always said, hundo p. Obviously meaning, 100%. But I feel that one being tossed once is too much. Problematic. Cringe. Literally. Also Llanfairpwll Gwyngyth. Slam. By journalists. Politician A slams politician B over barely controversial opinion. Unless politician A literally picked up politician B and slammed him to the ground. This word has no meaning. It's useless clickbait. Always. I refuse to disclose whether or not I support literal slamming of certain politicians. Abuse. I think there's an eagerness to describe unsavory patterns of behavior as abusive because of the associated moral weight of the term. When people think of abuse, they think of abuses, which is taken to be synonymous with evil and sadistic, and so there's some appeal to ascribing that status to people we have had bad experiences with. Relationships can be unhealthy or toxic without being abusive. And people can be shitty partners in a relationship without being narcissistic. Sadistic abusers hellbent on causing maximum damage to their victims. Oppression and violence. No. You're not being oppressed for being asked to wear pants at Walmart, and no violence is not being done onto you because someone at work disagrees with your politics. Nazi and communist. Normalize. Triggered. Depression. Overrated. Karen. Once it left Reddit, it became insanely overused. Iconic. Normalize. Very. It's overused. English is filled with wonderful descriptive words. Yet all you hear is very hot, very cold, very fast, very loud, etc. Frisbee. Woke. Anxious. Anxiety. It's like everyone forgot the word worry or concerned. Psychopath. Sociopath. Don't use it unless you truly have grown up with one. Also antisocial. That's a disorder that's horrific. People should really use asocial. Nazi. Or fascist. Nobody knows how to use these words properly. Just because something is bad or against what you believe doesn't mean it's fascist or a Nazi. Gaslight. Fascism. I've seen political left and right use that word around willy-nilly as if fascism truly is what it was 80 years ago. Newsflash. It's not. Fascists. I don't think half the country, US, doesn't really know the meaning of this word.